Hello and welcome back to another reaction. In this occasion, Avatar: The Last Airbender Season 3 Episode 4. Yes, obviously last week I reacted to the special Escaping from the Spiritual World, I think is the full name. Again, it was an interesting I don't know if I call it episode or extra or something like that. It was interesting because it gave me a new perspective on at least four previous avatars. The one we know the most about was obviously Avatar Roku. We know his voice almost from the first season, if I'm not mistaken. The other one we knew the most was obviously Avatar Kyoshi, and the other two I didn't even know their names until that moment. But it's interesting to see how this cycle works, how everything is moving around in this cycle for the Avatar. That obviously first each one of them it's a different element, let's say, but obviously they can control all of them. And we see how the Fire Nation was, at least for a glimpse there, before the war, because we saw that normal citizens, and yes, the Avatar could travel around the world without many problems, even with the Fire Nation that obviously now is at war with the rest of the world. But previously it was just kind of more casual, even with the ridiculous stuff. I challenge you to, yeah, to the fire duel. I don't recall the name of the fire duel, but yeah, it was funny, but it serves the plot in a little bit more. Obviously, as I said in my previous reaction, it's not the best animation, it's not the best voice acting, because literally there was no voice acting in this one, but it was interesting to see nonetheless. I was more fixed into the quality of the information that they gave me. And I think it's important information because now you understand something else. Now you got your answer for some questions that I had, and yeah, that's why I found it interesting. Again, it's not the best quality of the animation. It reminds me of a very early PS1 game or something like that. The story that the PS1 games had, they gave you kind of improved graphics if we compare it to the gameplay, but obviously not that much. That's what I perceive on these animation. But anyway, yes. Let's just better continue with the regular series. Now we're entering episode 4. I don't know what to expect because again we are seeing different things in different episodes, and it's not it's related to the plot, but it's not entirely trying to develop only the plot, but it's actually developing the characters, developing the world. And since the size of the world of this animation is huge, it's gigantic, yes, it needs all the episodes that are possible. But anyway, yes, I think I'm starting to talk way too much. Let me just remind you that if you are not subscribed to the channel, please consider a subscription and turn on notifications so you can get up to date with whatever we are doing with the channel. If you enjoyed the video, please give me a thumbs up and leave a comment. I know I take my sweet time to answer them, but I really read them, and I'm so thankful for those guys. Something else, something I have been noticing with the comments. Sometimes in my cell phone, they notify me that, oh, you have new comment in your video, you have new something like that. But when I check it on my computer, because yeah, that's when I feel more comfortable redacting the answers that you deserve, there are a lot more. There are a lot more than the app, the YouTube app is showing me. So I don't know what the hell is going on. So yeah, that is another reason why I take more time to answer your comments, guys. But anyway, yes. Now let me remind you again that I now have a Patreon, and obviously, if you want to see the episode a week before and even the full reaction of said episode, just check my Patreon. If you are interested, obviously, there is no obligation for you to do anything like that.
It doesn't really matter how much money you make or how much money you have. That's really the thing, because I'm not asking you for a large financial contribution. But a sub is $5. At maximum, in whatever your currency is, it's maybe $10.
But anyway, yes, enough about all of these. Let's cut the presentation and watch the episode, shall we? Okay, I'm back. I just watched a second time the fourth episode of the series, and I love it. I honestly watch it more than 2 times. I watch it like 3 or 4 times because I love this episode. As I said during the reaction, this is my favorite episode of the third season. Yes, so far this has been my favorite one. I admire Sokka a lot. Almost from the beginning of the series, I admire Sokka, and he's one of my favorite characters so far. He's a goofball, he can be silly, but when the time is needed, he's extremely smart and he is incredibly resourceful. I love those aspects that he can do both things, that he can be funny but he can be serious when it's the time of need. And this is something that we have said, or we have discussed, or at least what I have said before. I think Sokka is an amazing character, and he is not the traditional smart character. He's not the cliche of the glasses, of always having a book, or always reading, or always all that jazz. No, he is smart, he is not book smart. He knows what to do with his surroundings, he knows how to resolve a situation. He is really, really, really smart and really intelligent. And this episode showed that off. There are different aspects in this one. Obviously, we have the part in which he feels insecure for obvious reasons. You have... I am really sure about saying this. You have probably the best earthbender that ever existed. In this case, Toph. You have an amazingly skillful waterbender like is Katara, because she is fucking amazing. I don't know if she's the best so far, but give it a few years and she will be. And you have the Avatar. You have Aang. And you are no bender, you have no powers to bend. So yeah, obviously you are going to feel insecure, especially when they demonstrate how good at bending they are. Because yeah, I guess the Fire Nation is a pretty hot place, especially because there is a lot of... It's kind of a desertic environment in which they are. There is not a lot of... well, at least in a certain point, or very dry. I think it's more accurate to say, or to call it dry than more than desertic. So yes, it's a lot of dry, and in the combination with the water bending and the air bending, Aang was capable of creating snow. So yeah, I mean, come on, he's an overwhelmingly powerful bender. That is obvious. And yes, you have not even the capacity of bending. Nothing, not water, fire, or air, or whatever. No, nothing. You cannot bend a thing. So it is interesting to see all of these, and it's interesting to see this character development from Sokka. Again, we have seen in small doses, and I think I made a mistake back in another video that everybody has their own episode. I don't think Sokka has had his episode, his exclusive episode in which he shines more than everybody else. He has segments of other episodes, like when they visit the I don't remember if it was the East or West Air Temple that was taken over by another people, the inventor, and that. That was partially his way of shining, but not completely. That is an example of a partial episode for Sokka. But this was his episode. This was all for him, and it was so well written, so well managed. I love it. I love this episode. Probably my admiration or my love for this episode comes from my admiration and love for Sokka, because Sokka is probably my favorite character of the entire series. That is something I can say for certainty. I like the rest, but I think among these great characters, I think Sokka is the one that really I enjoy a lot. That is my favorite character so far. I don't know how many of you share this disposition towards Sokka, but I love his character, and I love the fact that he finally got his episode. And my god, what an episode. Yes, we took these insecurities and we go against a master, and obviously this master has here every single overblown ego that you could ever think. Oh, I am the best swordman in my village, so I deserve to learn from the best. That speech by the master speaks volumes. That he's tired of these pretentious assholes that I bet they are not that good. They are not as good as they believe, and he knows that. And there is a key word in that exchange between Sokka and this master. I know that I am not worthy, that I have a lot of things to learn. I think that is the point in which the master say, yes, this is an excellent student, because he acknowledged that he needs to learn. That's why he came to me. The other idiots, they believe they are so great that obviously they are just going to learn a little bit extra so they can be even better, and they're going to surprise the master in minutes, perhaps, even they believe that. So I think that is the moment in which, yes, he wants to learn, he wants to improve himself. I need to teach this person because he is going to receive all the knowledge that I have with gusto. So I think that is the point in which he changed his mind and he started teaching Sokka. And I love the improvement that we saw. We only saw, obviously, the first one is just a pathetic beating towards Sokka in the fighting, obviously. Then a little bit of an improvement, but not that much. And then in the third one, we saw a genuine improvement. But obviously, in between these phases, these fighting phases, we saw different aspects of this training. Yes, that is not completely related to fighting. The calligraphy one, and I love how they explain to the audience what is the purpose of this. Why Sokka needs to learn calligraphy so he can improve his swordmanship. And I love how they use it. You cannot take back the painting of the brush, and you cannot take back the stabbing of the sword. It makes sense. You are trying to make the least mistakes, especially with a sword. With the paper, obviously, is a less problematic point, because yeah, the paper you can get another one. But in the sword, a mistake could cost the life of somebody else, not yours, not just your own, but somebody else. So you need to be sure of what you need to do with your sword. And obviously back then, when the calligraphy was big, especially in Chinese calligraphy, the paper was not cheap. Obviously, it was very expensive, and you need to be very careful as to how you treat the paper. So yeah, it makes sense. And I love this moment. And the other one, obviously, when he is in the rock garden, I think it's called, and he arranged the garden so he can rest. So yeah, that is his advantage. That is his advantage in that moment. I love how Sokka is thinking outside the box. Even when he is making his sword, he's okay, choose whichever material you want to make your sword. You can take whatever and you're going to make it. But he chooses a material that is not even presented in front of him. He chooses the material of a freaking asteroid, and that is something else. And I think the master was so pleased with that. Even in the last speech that he gave, I was not impressed by your technique. Oh no, not your technique, or your talent. I think it was called. I don't remember what he said. But I was impressed by your way of looking at life. Or I don't remember the exact words, but it's something along those lines. Because yeah, I'm terrible with lines. I do not remember exactly what he said. But I love how he spoke about the flexibility of his mind, the way he sees stuff in a different way. He's not concentrated just in one point. He tries to see everything around him and make the best decision for himself, and in this case Sokka, I mean, so he can learn better, or he can have a certain advantage here. I love that fact. I love the fact that this master recognized that. Because a lot of other people, and this is in reality and in the show, we have seen that in the show, that if you're not talented in a certain aspect, they reject you. You need to be just talented in that aspect they are training. They don't want to waste their time in somebody that is not talented. But this master, this true master, really saw what Sokka really is, that he has the potential of becoming something even better than himself, better than the master himself. So he's going to train it for him to become better. And I love that fact, because a lot of people doesn't want to train because they believe they are the best, and they will not accept anybody that is better than them, even if it's, yes, they are better than you. They won't accept it. They won't, and they refuse to accept it. But no, this guy said, yes, if you keep training like this, if you continue in this path, you're going to become a even better swordman than me, a better master of the sword than me. I love the fact that it said that. I mean, I'm still so giddy about this episode. It's such a great episode, man. It's such a great episode, and I love it with every inch of my being. Oh my god, I love it. I genuinely love it because, again, Sokka is probably my favorite character of the series, and seeing him shine like this is amazing. Obviously, we have our last fight, our last moment of fighting, in which Sokka took advantage of everything that he learned, so he can hold back against, well, not hold back, so he can hold back the master, because yeah, I was sure that he was not going to defeat it. The master is way too skillful, but I love how the master recognized every single step that Sokka did. And yes, when he started to still train you in this fight because you cheated and because you deceived him or tried to deceive him because you were actually Water Tribe, he's still trying to teach him. So I was completely sure that this guy didn't care. He's completely neutral to the war, because according to him, the art of the sword should not be just confined to one nation. It needs to be expanding. Obviously, he's not going to go after the Fire Lord because, come on, he's just one man, and even if he's amazing at sword, he needs an army to take down the Fire Lord. Makes sense. But I love how this guy doesn't care, and I love the fact that now that we are in the Fire Nation, we're starting to see a more diversity in the personalities of the citizens of the Fire Nation. It's not just evil guys that we saw in the first season or in the second season. We start to see that there are people that try to survive in the Fire Nation. They do not hate colonies, or they do not hate the Water Tribe of the Earth Kingdom or whatever. No, they are just citizens too, and they are in danger for the Fire Lord. Yeah, I love this aspect of the show, that they are now showing us how the Fire Nation is seen through the eye that somebody is not their enemy. I love this. This is obviously a thematic that we have seen from the beginning of the third season, and I love that fact. I love that the dynamic that we see here. And yes, of course, there is a bunch of jokes that I was thinking about, like, oh yes, use the higher ground.
I have the high ground!
I mean, you saw that coming a mile away from me. Come on, don't tell me that you didn't saw that coming a mile away. Obviously, this is older than the movie, so yeah. I'm not saying that they steal it from this, but they steal it from this. Obviously, in this case, well, never mind. Never mind. And obviously, there are aspects in here that are kind of reference to something else. In this case, when Aang put on his armor, it reminded me of another anime. I don't remember the name. I think it was the anime of Dragon Quest with the Adventures of Fly. I think it was. I don't recall. Check it out. I think it was Dragon Quest something. It's an anime, and in which he wanted to buy an armor, but yeah, the protagonist is very, very short, and the armor looks awesome on the mannequin, but not in the hero. So yeah, when Aang put on the armor, it reminds me a lot of that. Yeah, very ridiculous in both sides and very exaggerated. The freaking armor is just so ridiculous, but I love that armor. What else? There was another aspect that reminded me of. Well, I cannot remember. There are so many things that that really erase my stupid jokes that I have planned. Because again, this episode was awesome, and I haven't even spoke about the other aspect of the episode. In this case, Uncle Iroh's training. I love how he's deceiving the guard. That they treat him just like an old man that he's just lost his mind because he's locked down. And he's doing absolutely nothing, and he's just completely lost. Because yes, obviously they are going to be saying, oh, he's just making noise for making noise, so yeah, don't worry, he's crazy, so we don't have to look after him that much. So yeah, I love how Uncle Iroh is deceiving them, and my god, he's ripped. I don't know if he was always ripped, even when he was with Zuko. But my god, he looks fucking awesome, man. Dude, he's putting me on Shen, and yes, I am not in good shape, man. I am not. And that is amazing to see Uncle Iroh like that. And I love that aspect in which he'd say nothing, but you understand what is going on through his mind. He's training because I don't know if he's going to be released, or he's planning to escape, or he's planning to, I don't know, fight against his own brother. But he's training. He's getting ready for something big. And I like that aspect. I love that. Uncle Iroh for the win. That is the only thing I have to say. This episode is so good, man. I could be speaking hours and hours and hours about this episode, but I'm not planning on doing that because I will bore you guys. So, I think I really exhausted the topic of this one. Yes, I still want to speak about that because I'm so giddy about the episode. But anyway, yes, if I'm not stop here, I'm going to continue. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this episode, and let me just remind you that if you enjoy the content of the channel, please consider subscriptions and turn on notifications so you can get up to date with whatever we're doing with the channel. If you enjoyed the video, please give me a thumbs up and leave a comment so I know what you think about the episode, my reaction, and everything in general. Or just to say hi even. What else? Oh yes, if you want to follow me on Twitter, the link's in the description below. And remember, I now have a Patreon. You get to see the episodes a week before, and even my full uncut reaction in the Patreon. So yes, I think that's it for now. I really enjoy this episode. If you can see, I'm smiling like crazy because I love it. And yes, they really miss Sokka in this one. You never know what you have until you lose it, at least for a couple of days. But anyway, yes, see, I still can't stop myself from speaking about this episode. But anyway, yes, I hope you enjoy it, and I have nothing else to say, but thank you for your attention, and see you on the next one. Bye.
Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed that video, and if you did, give it a like, so the algorithm from YouTube will help me out. And check my other videos, share them, and also why not subscribe to my channel and join this community. And as always, I want to thank you for your attention, your likes, and even your dislikes, your comments, which is something I always look forward to read. And yeah, once more, thanks, and see you on the next one.